Good afternoon and good afternoon. Hey, everybody. Listen, y'all know me. I'm always in podcast mode. I'm happy to be here today. So today my guest is Miss Charvi Kennedy. She is the founder and CEO of Ace is the Answer. But before I get to that, I got to give you a little bit about what's going on, what you're seeing here. I know you used to seeing like popcorn and politics and Good Morning with Ned. And yeah, I'm the podcast lady. I know that. So I am also, what you may not know is that I'm also the director of media for the Greater Eastside Chamber of Commerce. And this is our first episode of the Chamber Chat podcast. I am excited about that. And Charvi, who is my guest, is also on the board. We sit on the board for the Greater Eastside Chamber of Commerce. And the Greater Eastside Chamber of Commerce is here to help small businesses expand their reach and their awareness for their business so they can thrive and survive in the days time that we're living in right now. So yeah, I know y'all see me a lot all over the place, but this is what I do on a regular basis. So without further ado, I want to this lady is amazing, y'all. So let me tell you why she's amazing. She's amazing because she has had to overcome some substantial hardships and obstacles in her life. She has three boys. Listen, she had three boys. Three boys. So one boy, I got one granddaughter. She's like having three boys. Charvi has three beautiful young boys. She is a widow. She lost her husband suddenly. She's running a business. She's launching a nonprofit, and she sits on the PTA, and she sits on the Greater Eastside Chamber of Commerce. And when I tell y'all, that's what makes her phenomenal. That's what makes her phenomenal. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Miss Kennedy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. I was listening to this going, who is that person? She got a lot on her plate.
Child, yes, I don't know how she does it, but we're going to talk about how she does it because I know one of the things that I struggle with, Charvi, is managing my time, and this is just me. So I can't even imagine what your day looks like. What does the day of Charvi Kennedy looks like when it comes to being a mom, an entrepreneur, philanthropist, a board member, a PTA parent? And I probably left out some things, y'all, but these are the things that I know about because I sit on the board with her. What does that look like?
First, can I say that I just thank you for having this platform. It's going to be so great to help share stories such as my own so we can all be in this together because we all are. With the schedule that I keep is no different from another person's schedule. It's just all about prioritizing. So I'm just so proud to be a part of this because when I'm going from a day-to-day perspective, it's all planned out from a week before. I have to look a week ahead with what I have going on with the children first. As you stated, there were some changes and major dynamics in my schedule before 2021 of February, before the passing of my wonderful late husband, Samuel Kennedy Jr. And so after that, it was a place of not knowing. There was no schedule. It wasn't anything. So it was literally a ground up understanding what was important. So everything's based off the children. A day-to-day that we look like is anything that has to do with the kids from the first time that I wake up. They're normally going to school, and we travel to a school that's a ways from us. So travel time is part of my schedule. And also with work, I work only during the times that they are in school, which is approximately about 10 to 2. So 4 hours a day that I'm working, I got to be power packed with my plan. And after work is picking them up. They're doing activities such as tennis, where they are with other children that they could play with, whether I take them to the playground. And then when I get home, mommy mode. It is bath, it is food, it is story time, it is attempt to do a homework in the event that I can do it. I plan all of my scheduling with PTA, with the board, GECC, and other things during that 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. time on Tuesday through Friday, because all other times has been prioritized to deal with my children. So I have to look ahead in order to stay in a great area in order to be balanced for work, for children, and for everything.
And I don't want to dredge up the past, but I do want to talk about the sudden loss of your husband. I know that must have been a shock, and that day, like I can't even imagine. Well, I lost my mom last year in 2021, so that was a shock. But that was something we had like 9 days to kind of pray for. It happened to you suddenly. What was that like, and what has life been like now after his passing, being a single mom, or of three boys?
Well, it's not dreading the past because that's who I am right now. I am a person who was loved by a very, very great another person. So I'm not proud to say widow. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I take that on with a lot of encouraging, with a lot of love, with a lot of power because he took care of his family. And I actually call myself, or starting to term it, as a widow warrior because we are in a fight. It's not a struggle, it's an understanding of where we are and where we need to be. So if anything, it's made me stronger to understand the importance of people, the importance of family. And so no, that's not dredging the past. So, but thank you for respecting that in the event that it was. But any other day before, it was where my husband was only 36, and unfortunately he passed from a heart attack. And he's a survivor of 3 heart attacks prior to his passing. So that would have been his 4th. And also the doctor said that it was likely to be a 5th. So he tried, even after the 4th heart attack, to try to be here, but it's only so much that we could take as humans. But that day, any other day, it was a Friday, it was the end of the week, virtual school was going on because it was 2021. And our routine was great. I was doing some work. I was dealing with the children and making sure that they all were in their study area. And we have 6 children. There's 3 children that I have with me because they're younger and they're in grade school. But at that time, we had all 6 of my children. I have a wonderful son. He's in college. I have 2 twin daughters who they're amazing. They're in high school. And so all that time we had them in our house, a normal day, and then got the phone call that he was out and he was just getting a haircut. And so from there, it was where when life changed, it was really black. Have no idea what was going on. The funeral services went too fast. Unfortunately, he was a planner and our family was, great. Myself, along with my mother-in-law, Beverly Kennedy, she is also a business partner with me. We're life insurance agents. So we understand the importance of protecting your family. So things that I don't want to say normal people, that people unfortunately have to think about in those times of transition when they're taking care of their family. We were blessed that we did not have that as a factor. So it wasn't stressed from a financial standpoint, but it was, dealing with the heartbreaking. So that blackness was for a while. I don't even remember how much time, but my sons, people around us, support was able to assist with my children going back to school. Because at that time they was not in grade school. They was only in pre-K and 2nd grade. It was hectic, but I had to slow down, think about the future. And in about April, 2 months later, I got my foot going, and I've been hitting the ground running ever since from a different perspective. So I'm a widow warrior. This is a fight. Business is a fight. The world, from a spiritual realm, it's a fight. It's a battle, and I'm here to win. So I wear that with pride.
Charvi said she's here to win, y'all. I'm over here fighting back tears because it's so. I wasn't there, but I can just imagine what that must have been like. That when you lose anybody, it's devastating. Even you can't plan for that, right? So your husband was very young. He had a heart condition. Is that what he had?
Yes, there was a heart condition before. Many factors that go along with how your heart is affected. We're talking about stress. We're talking about your lifestyle. Even though he exercised, he had a good diet. So it was where the shock was insane. I'm not expecting that people pass when they're older or elderly, because we're not our creator. Everybody has a time of appointment, and we're never late for that appointment. We can be late to the doctor's office, but you're not late for the time it's time for you to go. But he lived a good life. He always said to people that cared for him, or whether he knew them or not, he always said he lived a good life. He had a wonderful family with myself and his 6 children. He had great brothers, great moms. His dad was wonderful. He just loved his life, his friends, very charismatic. So the reason why I have to, another reason, which is a main motivation of why I have to go to the next step and I have to do this business, I have to be there for my children, is because he wouldn't have had it any other way. He would have kept on going. He's actually has the cheat code up there now. I feel like since his passing that he's been giving me, when I used to play video games, we used to buy those books that tell you how to get off the boss, or how you win the boss. So there's just some things that was put in place that I know since his passing, it could only be him, as well as our creator, because I'm very blessed and very happy that with my beliefs that it's been holding me together. So I'm here because he has a story. Life is good, and we have to appreciate people, and we have to appreciate what we're doing with people. So he's always a motivation, and that's why I smile, because he's there. He's not gone from the flesh. His aura is around here, and I feel it. So I am selfish to want him to be physically here, but he's where he's doing a lot more good, and I can help with expressing that good because of what he's done in the world.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I was a little apprehensive about talking about it, but I'm glad you shared. I want to switch gears. I want to talk about business because I know that you're an entrepreneur. What is ACE, and what do you do at ACE?
What was the question again,
What's
Audrey?
ACE, and what do you do at ACE?
Yes, ACE is Ascension Consultant Enterprise, and not in a nutshell because it's so broad. I'm here to help people. So consultant. Ascend is basically where you started from, not just about the ground up. You started below the ground. There is nowhere else to go but down. So when people say it is only the way up, the only way is up, that's the ascend part. You can have progression. So our goal is to consult with you with what you have going on in your circumstances, specifically financial. Between myself, I'm a life insurance agent, I'm a debt counselor. People like the term credit repair. That tends to be the hot topic right now, but we understand your financial structure. And then when we get from there, we partner with lenders, such as my mother-in-law. She's a lender. She also doubles as a CPA. So she's assisting people with setting up their business, with bookkeeping. So between our two skill sets, we are very confident that we'll be able to take a person's financial circumstances and ascend it to the next level. We've been doing this, she's been a CPA for over 30 years. I've been a debt counselor for about 6 years. And so that also assisted me from a transition of being in corporate America. I worked with wonderful companies, top-notch companies, Fortune 100 companies, and just took those skill sets from there and applied it to a consumer perspective. So we are here to help people. When people ask me what do, I love what I do because I help people, but specifically in their financial circumstance.
So now someone, because a lot right now, people are on they're on the journey. It's the beginning of the year still. They're getting their financial house in order. They're setting goals for the new years. One of the things that I like to talk about, because like you, people don't know this, I am a life insurance agent too. I don't talk about it
Yes,
very
you
often
are.
because I'm always talking about podcasting, which is fine because I love podcasting. Everybody knows I love podcasting, because it's such a great platform for us to be able to help people create awareness about what they do, whether it be life stories or business stories or whatever it is. We allow you to use these platforms to get your message out there. I want to go back to something you said. So we work with a lot of business owners at GECC. Like you're a business owner, we have a whole membership of business owners, and a lot of times business owners are not thinking about the future as far as asset management and how to save and how to invest and how to make sure you got enough income if something should, unfortunately, God forbid, happen to you and your family has to replace your income. They don't talk about that. How do you breach that conversation with small businesses who are just wrapped up and running the business, right? Their focus is, I got to figure out how to do a marketing plan, I got to figure out how to do SEO, I got to get on digital social media. But at the end of the day, if something happens to you, especially if you are a solopreneur, what will happen to your business, to your family, if there is nothing in place for that? How do you breach that conversation with entrepreneurs?
It definitely changed because of my personal circumstances with who I was before my husband's passing, and then after my husband's passing. Because the importance of one insurance is I can't say gargantuan, because in business we have what's called the E&O insurance to protect you. And in a business, you need to have an end game in mind. Why are you doing this and how you protect it? Just like your family. We leave our houses, and many of us have alarm systems, whether we lock the door, whether we do a chain on the door or ADT, Xfinity, whatever. You protect your home, but why not protect yourself? So as a business owner of an LLC or sole proprietor, at the end of the day, you don't want anyone to come and take away your creation and take away your intellectual property. So I know we want to get out there and sell. We want to sell our candle. We want to sell our financial service. We want to sell our gear. We want to sell apparel. However, in the event that something happens, how are you going to protect yourself? Are you even set up as a business? We've learned with the recent pandemic, when persons was trying to sign up for the SBA loans and the PPP loans, they couldn't do it because they didn't even have something as simple as an LLC that cost $100. They just had a business. They take it through Cash App or Venmo or whatever. So you have to have a business structure in the beginning, even with the business proposal. I know we want to sell, we want to get out there and do marketing, and we think that's fun when we get into that. But the business is first. What's the end game? Where do you see yourself going? And then how do you protect yourself in the event that if something happens, unlikely, you have a peace of mind to run your business. When you have your business, did you even check the name? I'm Ascension Consulting Enterprise. I'm lucky that I saw that that I didn't see that on the register when you go to the website to see if you have a trademark on that name. It's all about the logistics of your business, and that's before your first sale, because you want to prepare yourself for you to protect yourself and how you're going to help take care of the consumer. So we just got to get back to the basics of running a business, and the layers are missing. There's not a book out there unless you went to a program that deals with business to get your MBA. There's not many resources out there to tell a business how to layer your company and how to start. But it's not with the marketing. It's not telling people that you sell this or you provide this service. You get all of your affairs in order. You get your accountant to handle that money. When you get so involved in this business, it needs to be you, and it needs to be that accountant. So it's different layers on how to deal with the business, even before you deal with your first product. That's what we're missing.
I want to tell you a story. So I have a client, and I was at her facilities, and a young lady walked in off the street. She was selling something, and she said to my client, she says, "Oh, I see this name everywhere, right?" So my client got really excited. She's like, "Oh, really good." So I said to her, so when the young lady left, I said to her, "That could be bad." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Why is she seeing the name everywhere? Are you marketing everywhere like that?" And she's like, "No." I said, "Well, how is she seeing this name everywhere?" I said, "Have you checked the trademark on your business to make sure you're not infringing on somebody's trademark?" And she instantly, the air just got sucked out of her because she was excited. Like, "Oh, it's so exciting." I'm like, "Why is she saying it? Are you putting it out there, or are you infringing on somebody's trademark?" She had never heard that before, and she got the life sucked out of her. So it's very important that you make sure that you are protected when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your trademarks, when it comes to your copyrights. You need to make sure these things are in place. And so that's why what we do at GECC is so important. That's why what Charvi does at ACE is so important, because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. I'm just going to be honest. You do not want to get caught with your pants down. A lot of people missed out on the pandemic money. I was missing one thing, Charvi, and when I went for the EIDL loan, one thing, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what that is, and I didn't have it, so I couldn't get it, and I was like, oh my God, because people say, well, Origin, you're a solo, you can still get my great. When I went to go get it, I couldn't get it. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I can't get it. But what did that do? That taught me a valuable lesson that I need to go back and look and make sure all my stuff is tight. I'm thinking my stuff is tight. I got my DUNS number. I got my EIN number. I got all these things. And they asked me for one thing that I didn't have. And then I missed the deadline. I'm like, oh, my God, like that is nuts. So you want to make sure that you have all these things in place. And I know it's time consuming. It's stressful because you are a solopreneur, but you got to do these things. Other thing I want you to kind of touch on is asset protection, because my family, my daughter is going through something right now where she there was an accountant involved. They had an accounting firm, right? But you want to make sure that the people you're working with is people that you can trust, right? If you are a small business owner and you're growing a business that could become a multi-million-dollar venture, you want to make sure that you know everything about protecting that business, the assets of that business, and the people that are supposed to take on that legacy when it's time for you to check out. And that's
That's
important.
right.
That's important.
That's right.
And I know a lot of times people don't think about that. So, Charvi, I know you do insurance. I know that you guys help people get their financial house in order. What can you talk about when it comes to asset protections for small business owners? Because that's the audience that we serve, but I don't think they think about all that. Like, that's a lot to think about. I get it. But you got to think about it, especially if you're like me and you're building a legacy company like Charvi. Now, we're building legacy companies. We're putting it out there. That's what we're doing. And we need to make sure when it's our time to say goodbye, everything is in place for the next torch carriers, right? We don't want them to
That's
be
right.
fighting with the courts and fighting with this one and fight. We don't want that, because that's not what we built this for. So what do you say to that person? How do you help those people get that stuff in order, so if it's their time, it's an easy transition over to the next group?
What I love about what I do is because it's so simple. The simplicity of going to people who are open to wanting to do the best for their business is such a relief. I'm past the point now where I have to drill something in someone's head to say, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. I'm not in business to be people's mothers, and I'm not in business to be a dictator. It's a collaborative effort. I want your business to do well. I want to continue to be a consumer, and I want that to be passed down to your family. So when we are making these decisions, it goes back to the basics on why we're doing this business. Because once we figure out why we're doing this and we're doing it for our family, it changes the mentality. So a lot of business is dealing with mindset. I know we want to get in here for money, but if you're in it for that money first, as you know, Audrey, how we're dealing with these clients and associates that we help, it doesn't work. It never works, because that money is in different forms. It's a different monster itself. So if you don't understand the language of currency, you're not going to be able to be in a part of that realm. Currency is just like a foreign language. So you got to get someone who's familiar with that language, such as a CPA, or someone who does taxes or bookkeeping. But I always say a CPA, you got your main person, you, and then you got your CFO, because they're going to tell you what to do with it. And you're right, trust is important, because people are greedy. It's something about money that people are just so overwhelmed with. And to be honest, I used to be that way. So I'm a reformed money addict, because that is an addiction. And the importance of that is when you don't know enough about it and not educated of it, it will run you ragged with anything. So the importance of asset management when I'm talking to clients, and it is a smoother conversation because it's more of awareness now versus, oh, I can't do that. I don't have time for that. No, you got to make time for that. You don't have a business. In the event that something happens and somebody can, sue you, let's take something as small as McDonald's. They got sued for having hot coffee. They had to put a warning label on it. So if they didn't have any type of protection, they could go under from something like that. Just think about your business. If somebody sues me for $100,000, can I sustain that? No, I cannot. Or I don't want to. I don't want to give someone $100,000 of my raw cash when I have coverage to protect the business and to protect me outside of that. You just want to remove yourself completely from the works of business. That's what asset management is. What have you done to make sure that every dollar that's coming in and every dollar that's going out is accounted for? So when we're talking about protection, we're really just talking about policies. We're talking about how do you want, and that's where the accountant comes in, or the CPA comes in, because they're there to help you with those structures. What vehicles do you want to put those in? Get yourself a financial advisor. So the more money you want to make, you got to have more people around you that know that language to be able to assist you. And you got to invest in that. So before you're even talking about a product, you got to make money to find the people that's going to help you make more. So from an insurance standpoint, because that's where that mainly comes in, when you are having these investments or having these payments of products, before you spend it for an expense, the expense is how am I going to make sure that this is kept in the event that I pass and I have it as a smooth process. You don't want your things going into probate. You want it to be a smooth, this is your will, this is your trust. You want it to be an easy transition because going into that probate, I know a person a year still in probate because they can't get some information that they need, and they're married. They were married, so.
Yeah, my dad passed away some years ago, and his estate went into probate. He lived in Vegas. I was at that time. I think I was living in I was back in Jersey, I think. He was in Vegas, so we had to go out there. He had just bought a house and trucks and all these things. No, nothing. And his wife had passed about 5 months before him, so everything went into probate for a year. We couldn't do anything. All we had to do was like, look, we just gotta get a lawyer. My brother and I were like, we gotta get a lawyer and let them handle it because we're not gonna. I didn't like Vegas. I wasn't trying to stay out there no longer than I had to, and I had to go out there under such grim circumstances. That wasn't something I was interested in doing. So we left everything with the attorney and like, yeah, just do what you got to do. We don't know what she did. All we know is that when she took a nice paycheck, we do know that she took a nice
paycheck. We're gonna get there.
Here's the rest, and we're like, okay, but that's all we could do because he did not have any of those things in place, and he didn't have anybody to really, instruct him on what to do. His wife had passed that May. That November, and then he passed that May, and so he didn't even have a. He said that his dream had always been to live in Vegas. So when his wife passed away, and her dream was to come and live in. At that time, when she passed, I was living in North Carolina, and she called me and said, "Hey, we want to move to North Carolina where you are," and I said, "That's great." So they were making. She was making plans to move to North Carolina where I was. He always wanted to live in Vegas. So when she passed away, he moved to Vegas. He sold his house in San Diego and he moved to Vegas. And he got a chance to live in Vegas for about 5 months, and then he passed away. But he passed away suddenly, and he had no will, no trust, no anything. And everything went into probate. He had bought a lot of stuff. It was crazy. My brother and I went out there. We were out there for like 2 weeks, and we were like, okay, we got to go home to our families, and we gonna let the lawyer handle this. The lawyer handled it, but when I tell you, she took a nice hefty chunk of that estate. She took a nice hefty chunk of that estate, and so that's why it's really important to have these things in place. And I wanna transition one more time before we end. Great East Side Chamber. Let's talk about that for a second, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who have not probably heard of it because they don't live on the East Side. But they have heard of chambers. So I have been a member for a little bit, I think 2 years now. How long have you been on the board?
Oh, about 2 years. Is it a year and a half?
Yeah, I think so. So you want to tell us? Okay, you want to tell our viewers a little bit more about what the Greater East Side Chamber do and who do we serve?
Yes. I want to share a quick story. Okay. When I first got into wanting to expand business from a different perspective, because I was referral based. I didn't have a challenge with obtaining clients in my realm. So just to learn a little bit more about people, a friend of mine actually said, well, you may want to join a chamber. So I said, great, I'll join a chamber. Did a little bit of research. I'm a queen of Google University alumni here. So I am looking, and chamber comes up, and I go, well, what's the closest one? And that's where Greater East Side Chamber came in, because I am a local resident of the services of our area, which is Snellville, Loganville, Grayson, and ultimately the east side of Gwinnett. If we do this right, maybe the east side of the United States. Well, we're getting there. There's some movement going on. This is a movement. And so first, the chamber is a collaborative effort of businesses in order to build businesses. So it's our own economy-based way on being supportive to the community, business, nonprofit, churches, schools, whatever we can to assist with the heights of economic development. So in regards to Greater East Side Chamber of Commerce, 2012 is where there was an establishment of our party, and so of our organization. This is our 10th year, guys. Can you believe it? Just the continuation of helping businesses and helping members to be able to improve their circumstances or help with their goals on their business, whether it's wanting to grow, whether it's wanting to get out there with their brand awareness. We have a great team. Myself, I'm the secretary. So what I do to assist in the part is that when we have our members, that we are aware of what type of business they are, what kind of resources that we can provide for them. I also provide the documentation on the legitimacy of the business, and then being in a person to assist you, Audrey, who's on platforms like this where we can give our members a great service. So we have multiple services of assisting a client with their brand awareness ultimately. So that's our focus in this beginning quarter of 2022. So we're celebrating 10 years of excellence, to be advocates for businesses and help with economic development.
So listen, y'all, she said it all, right? And I just want to add that I too have been a member for almost 2 years, and because I am in the media space, I brought what I could contribute to the chamber. What got me involved in the chamber, Charvi, and I'm gonna tell my quick story, is that I was looking for more exposure for my business, and so I saw that this chamber allowed you to put an ad in the chamber chat newsletter, and I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Right, wait a minute. So I'm a member and I get to put something in the newsletter, which is a great thing because for most of us, exposure for our business is like one of the number one things that we have to focus on. So when I could put my ad in the newsletter and know that it goes out to 1,000 people every Monday, and I don't have to worry about that, I can focus on something else. And I was like, that's amazing, which it is really amazing. And that's what got me. And that was a single thing. I tell you no lie. That was a single thing that sold me on Greater Eastside Chamber. That one thing, because to me that was so powerful. That was worth the $300 that you pay for the membership every year, yearly. Because when you think about it, if you had to advertise in somebody's newsletter, you would pay that a month, pretty much, right?
Yes,
You would
that's a
pay that a
monthly
month.
payment.
So that's a monthly payment. So that was a single thing that sold me on the Greater East Side Chamber. We have a lot of amazing things going on at Greater East Side. We're looking at a building. We are having our gala to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. We are the GCC TV that you're watching us on now. If you go to Noise Media Network on your Roku device, if you got an Apple TV, if you got a Android TV, if you got an Amazon Fire Stick, if you pull up Noise Media Network, you will see GCC TV there. This is also our podcast. So Charvi is the first person to be on the podcast and the TV, right? On the GCC podcast chat. So that's really cool. So she's our first guest. I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday with more guests as they come on. So if you don't see me on a Tuesday, that means I didn't have a guest for you because you don't want to see me talk. You want to hear me talk? Listen, pick a show outside of Tuesday because I'm on all the time. But on Tuesdays, you can catch this show when we got guests, when we got members. And so this show is open to our members. This is one of the benefits you get as a member. You get to come on here, you get to share your story, you get to talk about your business, and then we syndicate it across all of the platforms that the Noise Media Network sits on, which I sit on quite a few. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that I'm passionate about helping small businesses get exposure. And I have learned that this is a great way to do it. So we have a lot of great things. We got a new interim president. He's a firecracker. He's a youngster. I call him a youngster because he always called me an old lady. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being the old chick in the bunch. I'm all right with that. But he's very forward thinking and he's doing some great things. He's shaking up some things. We got Donnie, that's Derek J. Wilson. We got Donnie Houston, who's our what do we call Donnie? Donnie's been just in this since the inception.
Yeah, he's like a board advisor. It's like our go-to. Like, hey, what he brings the bridge between the yesteryears and today, so we're able to, go down a further journey because we have his insight on how things look.
And he's an
Yeah.
amazing businessman. We got Mark Ham, who is our resident communication and marketing expert. He makes sure our flyers are looking good. He makes sure the Chamber Chat newsletter goes out every Monday. That's a feat. I don't know if y'all know that or not. I pick doing podcasting over sending out a newsletter anytime. People think let me tell you something. I can sit down, turn the microphone on, and go live. When you have to write stuff out and lay stuff out, That's a lot of work. Now, that being said, we do have the magazine that's coming out. So it's the GCC Noisemaker. It's a partnership between Noise Media Network and the Noisemaker magazine that's coming out. That's also a benefit for our members. So if you are looking for exposure for your business, our chamber, our chamber, that's right, our
And,
chamber. Nothing, no,
and
yeah.
right quick, I want to brag on you, Audrey, because you just said I'm not going to brag on yourself. I was like, good, let me brag on her right quick. So she gave the background of our members, I mean, of our board members, as well as Don Cochran. She's with Stars and Stripes. She's our vice president. So that wraps us up in a nutshell. But Audrey, she don't get a chance to brag on herself. So I'm definitely honored to do that because platforms like this, she's looking to be a mogul. This is here, but we need to get on this noise media train before it takes off and be a whole production company and she leaves us like, she's not going to abandon us, but it's going to be a pick and choosing of her with her methods and with her interaction with people. Just people love her when they everywhere we go. It's yeah, we know Audrey because she's just so personable. She's all about businesses and all about elevation, evolution, and it is amazing with your energy, Audrey. So I always said, and this is on record, that your piece of what you do is going to assist with the elevation of this chamber and any other organization that take you on as the person to do their media for it, because your ideas alone is top notch, and then when you execute that idea, it takes it to another level. So having platforms like this to be able to give our clients, and you taking a risk on me being the first person, you wouldn't have done that if you didn't feel like, okay, how are we going to come out the gate? So when we do our roundtables and brainstorming, members or anyone else who wants to do our a la carte service, this is also an a la carte service. Our membership packages are on mygecc.org, which you see running across the bottom, and it ranges from $150 to $6,000 for something as like a partnership in regards to sponsorships. We offer those because we have signature events that are going to take place yearly for our wonderful chamber. So we have some great things in store. We have some great surprises. We have wonderful members that they even add on to our to the girth of this, to the body of this chamber, because you'll get member to member type of discounts. You have a community of people that just wants to help people. We are just so excited. Every meeting or every interaction, we are just going, what can we do for our members? What can we do for each other? And you who's watching, what can we do for you? So ultimately, I'm the secretary, but this email right here with my info at acestheanswer.com, that's my business email in the event that you have a question about all kinds of insurances, P&C insurance, car, auto, life, health. Also, if you have some circumstances going on with your financing, we do budget, we do debt management, counseling, but ultimately that's a mindset type of circumstance. And credit repair, that's the hot thing going. But if you want to reach me for GECC membership questions or to reach out to us on some other, inquiries, we are info at mygecc.org. Info at mygecc.org. That's who we are, and that's how you would be able to reach us, as well as going on our site. So Audrey, I love you. You don't get enough bragging points in public. So I am happy to do this on this round.
And Charvi, thank you so much. Anybody that knows me, they know that I'm about the business. I love what I do. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. 25 years. That's a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. And I've been helping a lot of people for a long time. And so I'm passionate about this. I woke up this morning, and Derek could tell you, I woke up like 6:30 with ideas. And I'm texting him. I'm sure he probably said, what is she texting me for at 6:40 something in the morning? Because I had these great ideas. So I text him, and I text the gentleman in Texas, which we're behind them, but I also sit on the board for the Blacks United in Leading Technology. So I'm the chapter president for the Metro Atlanta area. So Blacks United in Leading Blacks United in Leading Technology is a organization based out of Dallas. I'm the chapter president for the Metro Atlanta area. And so I'm texting him and Derek different things this morning about technology, of course. And both of them probably thinking, why is she up this early talking about business? But I couldn't sleep. I got up and I slept really well, and I got up and I was like, I got to talk about this. So I love this space. I love you guys. I know that we have big plans for GECC, and we have big plans to help our members go to the next level and level up. So y'all like Sierra, listen to the song, because that's a pep up song, and that's gonna get you like, yeah, there you go. Look, Charlie got it. That's right, level up, baby. That's what we're about at GCC. We're about leveling up. And if you feel like this is an organization that can help you do that, please, by all means, go to the website, mygecc.org. If you have questions, email info@mygecc.org. Charvi, I want to thank you so much for being the first guest on the GCC TV show, Chamber Chat. And let's listen, we'll be talking soon. I know we'll be talking soon, but you guys, get on over there, become a member, join us. This is what you get Tuesdays with me, talking about you. All right. That's right, level up. There it is. Look. Y'all know Charvi like the music. You can tell she got the whole dance and everything. Sierra dance. I can't do all that.
Yeah, because jukebox in my head. So we're excited for her.
All right. So thanks again. Listen, guys, we'll be back again next Tuesday if we have a guest. I must say that because I don't want you to be looking for us and like, well, I thought they were coming back. If we don't show up, that means a member had. Now, let me just say this: there are a lot of members in the chamber, but a lot of them are camera shy. I'm trying to break them out of being camera shy. So Charvi has broken the ice, and hopefully I have another member. Maybe our esteemed president, interim president, will come on and grace us with his appearance on the show. That would be nice, right? So you can get a chance to meet him. Y'all see him though. He's on with me all the time. Every Sunday, 1:00, Popcorn and Politics. That's the same guy. But he also serves in 12 other duties. He has 12 other duties. So maybe I'll get him to come on and talk about the chamber. But thank you, Charvi, again for taking the time. I know you're a busy woman, so I appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure. Take care, all. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today.
All right. Now, listen, guys, y'all tune in again next week. We'll be back at around 12 o'clock next week. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.